Well, that ain't good. You know, we made a video on Sonic a while back, and I think we should do the same for the more well-known gaming icon. That's right, you already know it's Bubsy.
What could possibly go wrong?
Just kidding, it's Mario. Did I fool you? Check yes or no and I'll get back to you in a week. Super Mario Bros., the video game that would change gaming history. From a time when video games were out of the norm due to the video game crash of '83, one company decided, hey, let's do a thing, but make it good. And that company was none other than Nintendo with their Nintendo Entertainment System and the game that would change everyone's life, Super Mario Bros. And I think Duck Hunt was in the mix in there as like a 2 games in 1 cart, but I digress. It was from then on that gaming would not only improve, spawning competition, but the move from 2D sprites to full 3D action. And who was the first to come to this genre? It was Alpha Waves. But who made it good was Mario, our favorite Italian plumber. It was from here on that Mario would take gaming by storm, taking the formula that we had in Super Mario 64 and using it in today's newest game. But was it always this formula? It didn't ever try to be something different. What was the growth that was Mario's 3D platforming gameplay we've grown to love? What gimmicks did they try, and did they work? That is what we're gonna find out. But I'm gonna have to state one rule I have for this. This only applies to the console Mario games, as the handhelds can be discussed in better detail in a later video. So games like 3D Land and 64DS are not in my timeline, as I'm saving those games for a different video. With that out of the way, let's jump and grab coins as we discuss the evolutions of Mario's 3D platforming formula. Also, quick disclaimer, I'm recording this video as I have a cold, so if I sound a bit nasally, that's why. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Super Mario 64 was released on June 23rd, 1996 as a launch title for the Nintendo 64. What was the gimmick here? Being in 3D. No, I'm serious. This was a new concept to the gaming community. Having the flip from 2D to 3D was all Nintendo needed to make the game unique. And unique it was. Gamers were blown away at what Mario can now do in this new 3-dimensional world. There was no more left to right. It was now anywhere and everywhere, for the most part. Mario was no longer held to a run button, as the joystick allowed for analog control. However far you tilted the joystick would determine how fast Mario would move. This wasn't the only thing Mario 64 had to offer, as Mario's jump was improved as well. You got your standard jump, but you also have the long jump, side flip, back flip, and triple jump, each giving varying height and distance. Mario wasn't the only thing to have changed, as the worlds you were dropped into had changed as well. These worlds were expansive and focused more on exploration rather than reaching the goal. Your exploration is what might lead you to a power star or a hidden goodie. For the first of its kind, it's not a bad structure for a 3D game. The only thing to have any flaws would be the swimming controls. Mario feels like he's trying to fight the water rather than swim in it. But other than that, the gameplay in this game is fantastic. So Mario 64 laid the foundation, but what would happen next? I mean, with this new 3D space, there's so many possibilities and unique ideas you can put into it. Well, I'll tell you what they did. They sent Mario off to a resort to become a janitor. Super Mario Sunshine was released in 2002 on the Nintendo GameCube. The gimmick here was the Flash Liquidizer Ultra Dazzling device, or FLUDD for short. This device allowed Mario to spray water in very unique ways. With FLUDD, you can point and shoot the water, hover in the air for a bit, rocket high within the sky, and jet at super fast speeds. That's not all. Mario has some certain moves from Super Mario 64 that he can do here. The triple jump, side flip, and the dive. The moves absent from this game would be the long jump and the back flip. These were forgotten in place of FLUDD, even though there will be times where you don't have him. FLUDD is essential in this game. He's there to clean up the mess of an island you're on. Cleaning up the ink that is scattered everywhere is what you'll be doing in most of the levels. Speaking of the levels, they have taken more of a linear approach. No longer can you obtain multiple stars, or in this case, shines, in one level. While expansive, the levels only allow for obtaining one shine sprite, making for some specific level gimmicks. Not only that, but in certain cases you can nab Yoshi. Riding on his back allows you to spew out stomach acid and flutter jump. And just like the good old times, he can still eat things. What was an improvement from what 64 had, it has to be the controller. Whereas 64 had great physics, the controller used was clunky and awkward. Sunshine upgraded to one of gaming's best controls out there, the GameCube controller. This was an improvement, as movement felt smoother and carpal tunnel was less of an issue. The controller felt more natural than that of 64's 3-dick prong dongs I had going on. Buttons each had a defined shape, making for getting familiar with the controls very easy. It's the reason why Sunshine was one of the more better controlling mainstream Mario games. But its linear approach with expansive level design didn't really mix well, making Sunshine's gameplay feel like a half-mixed cocktail. Nevertheless, it's still a fun game to mess around with, and is an improvement over what 64 had. Sunshine was the only mainstream Mario game to come out in the GameCube. The next one wouldn't be until Nintendo unveiled a new system, the Wii, where someone working there was like, hey, let's put Mario up into space. Super Mario Galaxy was released on November 1st, 2007 for the Nintendo Wii. The gimmick here was space, and the Wii's new motion control. No longer were you using a standard controller, you were instead using the Wiimote and nunchuck, allowing the usage of motion controls and pointing the Wiimote at the screen to nab things like star bits. Mario is just as energetic as ever, having the standard jump, the triple jump, and the returning long jump and backflip. New to Mario's moveset is the spin attack. This allows Mario to gain extra height and a little bit of extra distance when performing jumps. The spin jump is activated by swinging the Wiimote or nunchuck in a soft manner. This is the only real way of using motion controls for this game, except for a few levels that are very frustrating due to the fact that they try to be all gimmicky with its motion controls. This isn't the only factor the Wiimote has, as there are occasions where pointing at the screen using the cursor is used as well. These, compared to the gimmicky ball rolling and race surfing levels, are not as bad to deal with, and do offer a fun and fair challenge. The controls are not all what's different, as Mario's environments has changed as well. While still having the linear form from Sunshine, Galaxy offers rewards for exploring. Mario's environments can also be more spherical, having you run all the way around a planet to collect goodies, or in some cases to fight a boss. Whereas Mario hasn't changed too much, his environments were given a new sense of wonder and enjoyment. This is one of the most fun games to play just for its environments, as space can be sometimes pretty to look at. Not only that, but Galaxy actually got a sequel, and it's in this game they remaster Whomp's Fortress from Mario 64. It's a great way to see how far Mario has come. Oh, but we're not done yet, as Mario has had more adventures in this new 3D world. Like in this one, Super Mario 3D World. Is naming gotten that lazy? Super Mario 3D World was released on November 21st, 2013 for the Wii U. What's the gimmick? This fucking thing. You know, the thing that mirrors the gameplay? But hey, you can touch it, and you can blow on it. That sounds suggestive. The Wii U gamepad was the new gimmick, and here it doesn't add anything. It's a big in-your-face type when levels require it. Other than that, there's nothing really new, as things introduced here were introduced in Mario 3D Land, a much better game. I guess you can count the cat suit as a gimmick, but it's just an extension of Mario's abilities, nothing really new per se. Even though there are many characters, I'm focusing on Mario here. Mario can jump, long jump, side flick, duck hop, super jump, and probably one of the more stupidest moves in this game, rolling. Tell me, how many times did you use this move when you didn't need it? Exactly. The roll doesn't add speeds, it's just a roll giving you no reason to use it. Not only that, but Mario is back to using a run button. Another thing that doesn't make sense to me. As Miyamoto said, it's a 3D Mario game that plays like a 2D one. With the inclusion of a run button, it doesn't give it that 2D feel, it gives it a type of speed feel. There's walking, running, and running a bit faster, with the last one being the most fun as you go the fastest, and it doesn't feel like I'm pulling teeth to make Mario run. Not only that, but levels are now timed and accessed through an overworld map. This makes Mario 3D World the most linear 3D Mario game. There are little secrets, and the ones you find are more in the open. Exploration is none, and your real goal is to reach the end of a stage where there are now flagpoles. No shines, no stars, no fleshed out characters, just start to end, and frankly this is not how a 3D platformer should work. The point of a 3D space is to explore it, and not to blaze through it. And in my opinion, it makes Super Mario 3D World the weakest of the 3D Mario games. I will say this, the level design for this formula is good, and when it tries new things, it's fun, but as a mainstream 3D Mario platformer, it doesn't work for me. It plays like a 2D game, but has elements that belong in a 3D game, giving it a weird mix that doesn't sit well. It was after this we wouldn't see another 3D Mario game for about another 4 years or so, and it was for a new system too. I think you guys know which one I'm talking about. It's that one. The one that's the wallpaper. In the words of Aaron Hansen from the Mega Man Sequelitis video,
This game makes my dick rock hard!
Super Mario Odyssey was released on October 27, 2017 for the Nintendo Switch. The gimmick here was Mario's new companion Cappy. Cappy allowed Mario to throw his hat at many different things. Not only that, but Mario can now possess things with his newfound hat friend, and each one of those things have a different gimmick to them, making the usage of new ideas very prominent. With a feature like this, you will no doubt try to possess everything you can just to see what they can do. Mario, on the other hand, has been reverted back to the style of Mario 64. He can jump, long jump, triple jump, side flip, dive, and in addition roll to gain speed, making rolling in this game actually worth it. That's not all, however, as you can combine these moves while throwing your hat, offering some interesting ways to get around. My favorite is throwing your hat and diving into it to gain height and distance. In fact, diving is pretty fun in this game. Unlike previous incarnations of this moveset, Mario no longer takes fall damage, allowing you to fall from even the greatest heights and not having a single scratch. The worlds have become more open-ended as well. While they usually have a linear goal to take on, thinking outside the box or going out to explore will wind up with you being rewarded for your curiosity with either a power moon or one of these purple coins found in each world. Each world has its own theme and its own set of species, all sporting different types of personality, making each world feel even more unique. It's what makes this game one of the best Mario games, because it's just fun all throughout. Even after finishing the game, there's still more to do. It doesn't try to be all in your face with what it can do, and it doesn't force you to do everything there is to offer to get a full experience. It lets you do what you want to do, what route you want to take, and where you want to go to explore. And for that, it makes this probably the most fleshed out gameplay style Mario has. So that was the evolution of Mario's 3D platforming formula. It's interesting to see how it's almost come full circle, where back then they showed something new and creative, only to come back to it in today's time to have it be more fleshed out. Whereas gamers today can be seen as more stupid and incapable of grasping a new concept, Mario Odyssey has really shown that, hey, gamers don't have to be pointed in every which direction to show where they need to... Well, shit.
Here we go, off the rails. Don't you know it's time to raise our sails? It's freedom like you never knew. Don't need bags or a pass. Say the word, I'll be there in a flash. You could say my hat is off to you.